Start streaming. See what it looks like. Okay, I'm just trying to manage what I'm doing here. Let's see the best way to do this. It's also hot in this kitchen. Yeah, it's hot. I might have to change outfits a little bit here. Going on. Gee, I have so few followers here on Facebook, but I couldn't get on YouTube. They put you on I haven't streamed there in ages, so they put me on a 24-hour, you can do this tomorrow kind of thing. So anyway, I'm just making cookies. I've made these before. In fact, there was a video of this for a little while out. These banana chocolate chip cookies with candied ginger. And I'm trying to figure out how to chat with anybody who popped in. Let's just try this. Because I don't really stream on Facebook a whole lot. I do it on a few other places. Use page. There we are. I don't even see this happening. I know it's happening. Really weird. So that's odd, but whatever. Am I streaming right now, or is it failed? Looks like I'm live. But I don't know how to chat with you in the comments, so if I figure out what's going on, I'll do that. But I got to get to this because I got to go to work in a little while. All right, so I always start with, I try to get the pain in the neck stuff out of the way ahead of time. So I've only got one thing that's a pain in the neck I have to do. So I've melted my butter. That's just a pain because I always forget to take it out of the fridge, and then I can't make cookies. I got some eggs coming to room temperature. Put some parchment paper on my giant sheet pan, and that's about it. I think the only thing that's not done, so I'm limited to cutting boards, so I guess I'll use this. So again, it's banana chocolate chip cookies with candied ginger, and the recipe is by shaunasever.com. And I've noticed that Sean is something of a control freak. I realized this very recently. I've been making these cookies for years, but when I read the directions and I see things like only bake one sheet at a time, or what's the other one? Oh, you must mix by hand. Must be mixed by hand, which is not going to happen because we'll be here all day. So I've got candied ginger. It may not be enough because they sell these small ones now. And you'll laugh. is I used to cut these candied ginger pieces one at a time. I've been doing that for years, and then I tried it once in the food processor. Don't ever do that. That just makes a gooey mess. But lately I've just been doing it like this, you know, like a normal person. It's not the most fun ingredient to work with because it's kind of sticky and it's delicious. And what's up? Hope you're all doing good. If I have any peeps from the old show hanging out or watching later, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. I'm doing pretty great. I'm busy and have had no time to make cooking videos, let alone any sort of media. But I figured I'm here. These cookies are a hit at my fiance's workplace. I used to make them for this one girl who's his boo at work, and see, that goes a lot faster than one at a time. And then he started sharing them with other people, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm a rock star or anything. I'm just saying that it's popular where he works. And one girl actually, last year, she sent me money. And I said, why is Liz sending me money? And he said she just wants to make sure you make some more cookies. So they are really good. These are not gluten-free. So if you follow this channel, because I do some low FODMAP stuff and some gluten-free stuff, this is not gonna be that kind of show, unfortunately. So I don't eat these really. I might sneak a half of one or whatever. You know, low FODMAP, don't forget, low FODMAP, you're allowed to have a little gluten. It's celiac and other diseases where you can't have any, as you know, if you are afflicted by that. Anyway, so now I got all of this nonsense done. Get my KitchenAid stand mixer half ready. Oh, no, there is one more pain in the next thing I have to do. And that would be, I just washed this, this should be okay. Egg yolks. Got to get two egg yolks, and this will be the comedy section of the video. So yeah, and I'm out of wax paper, so I'm gonna make a mess. Add that to the list. So we're just gonna make a mess. All right, we can do that. We are listening to the Copley High School Choir, because I don't want to get copyright bans for having popular Christmas music on my show, because they will shut your butt down. So I found an album I had by a high school, and we're listening to that. If I don't know if you guys can hear that, I do have a filter or two on. And again, I'm sorry I'm not chatting with you personally right now. I will respond to you when I'm done. I'm not a good multitasker in the first place, but I don't even know how to chat on Facebook while I'm live streaming. So anyway, I need 2 egg yolks. Here comes the mess. I'm not very good at this. All right, so already. Now on better days, when I don't completely mutilate the shell, I save the whites, and then I'll make a little omelet out of it the next day. Because it's a shame to waste, but you know, here we are. Major fails. I told you this would be funny. I should just watch like 30 videos on the right way to do, the right way to do this, and then now I'm screwed because my hands have yolk all over it. Okay, 1 egg yolk with a little white in it. Like I said, the author of this, it's a great recipe, and I've never watched her. She never thanked me for making a video or yelled at me to take it down. When I had this video was actually pretty popular. Anywho, I need another egg yolk, so let's get that out of the way, and I'll be able to get rid of some of this white. Don't worry, it shouldn't be all fails. There we go. That's a little better. Almost lost it. Oh, almost lost it again. In fact, I did lose it. All right, let's rescue it. That's most of it. Good enough. It's cookies, for crying out loud. All right. And if it feels a little dry, I can just take some of that egg white and drop it in the stand mixer. All right, now we got to clean up. So the other thing I had to do, this recipe calls for, is a stick of melted butter, unsalted, and slightly cooled afterwards. So that's what's happening over here. I did not turn the oven on yet. I usually don't turn the oven. It's Florida, for crying out loud, and you don't want the oven on when you don't have to. It's like going to be 65 today. We had some cold weather, but it's back to kind of normal for this time of year now. That sun, you know, is northern hemisphere. It's low in the sky, and you can see it beating through that window. It's 11:20 a.m. here. Parchment paper on my sheet pan, that's all I need. These cook at 375, sorry, 375. And I can get started, I think. Oh, and then I need she says 4 ounces of mashed banana. So this is not only adding some flavor, but it's part of the sweetener, because there's only a half a cup of each of sugar and brown sugar. Four ounces, she says. These kids really aren't bad. This high school band we're listening to, better than a lot of normal Christmas albums I have. It's going to be the entire banana, which, as you can see, is seriously ripe. Inedible otherwise, but when you can use these for cooking, as long as it's not rotten, you know? Which it isn't. All right, so we're going to use that entire banana. Mash it up. I do it with a fork. Probably going to do that on a paper plate today. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. If you celebrate holidays, this seems like a bad idea. We'll do it in a bowl. Just take a regular fork, mash it up. When they're that right, it's not a hard task. So again, not low FODMAP, because low FODMAP diet, you should not be eating ripe bananas at all, unless you've passed the elimination phase and do all right with that food sugar. Yeah, we're ready to go. So let's do this. I think if I'm not mistaken, I do it all in this stand mixer bowl. You need a fairly large bowl, no matter what. And this calls for 2 1/4 cups of flour. And I don't want to use gluten-free flour. That would be a huge waste.
It's going to take me a little while to find the actual flour. There it is. Right in front of me.
Okay, that was a good save. Yeah, and the worst part is my fiance told everybody this year that they were gluten-free. So I don't think anybody that is there actually needs to be gluten-free, but still sketchy and dangerous and funny. All right. I think I'd rather have the other cup. Unlike the music server, I'll go flip it over in a second. Unlike try to let the flour kind of fall in there so you're not packing it down. That would be my fiance. Prepare for this shirt to get completely wasted in flour and whatnot. I'm a messy baker. I'm not a baker at all, to be honest with you. But I like it. I like doing it. Okay, 1 cup. Now that song's going to be stuck in my head until I flip the album over. Yes, it's vinyl. Okay. So what you see, I'm not pushing the measuring cup. I did that completely wrong, but it's close enough. Again, these cookies I've found don't require a whole lot of, you don't have to be too picky with what you're doing measurement wise. Unlike the gluten-free cookies I make where you do have to be very picky. 2 1/4 cups of regular flour. Close enough. There we go. Hope you're having good weather by you. It's actually a beautiful day. So yesterday and today, both beautiful. After we had some, I guess the whole eastern part of the United States had rain for a couple of days there. A lot of it. Let me go flip that out over. Who's over? All right. Flour next. Teaspoon of baking soda, and I got the wrong stuff out. I apologize about these flip-flops. I know they're exceptionally noisy and annoying. I'm sorry about that. But they're comfortable. Very important when you're in your 50s and have to stand for a long time. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of baking soda. Everybody's favorite part is coming up. Also, normally I am a clean as I go baker and cook, or try to be, especially baking. I'm not going to be today because I want to be entertaining and that would be boring, but I try to rinse or wash or put away everything as soon as I'm done with it. The scary ingredient you should always be careful with. Like, don't fold it over the bowl. Teaspoon of salt. And I should probably respond to my significant other. So bear with me. It's usually just comes down to sending a Bitmoji. Cute. Good. We'll go with writing the Rudolph. Okay. Yeah, it's getting hot in here. Okay, in a large bowl, whisk together the flour, baking soda, and salt. So we'll start with that. Try and look for a whisk that won't take a beating. ready. In a large bowl, blah, blah, blah. In a medium bowl. Ah, you see, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing it wrong. All right, so I'm gonna transfer this to here. And that's way too big, but whatever. And Lord of Lords, and it's time to deal with the wet ingredients. Sugar is half a cup each of regular. Of course, that's in the, here it is. Try to get the least lumpy amount. Brand new bag of light brown sugar, which is what she asked for. And we got to go packed, half cup packed, of course, light brown sugar. And anybody that actually bakes is probably laughing their butts off at me at this point, but that's part of the fun. I do not take any of this that seriously. This is just cookies, just making cookies for people, making people happy with food. I'm all about that. Okay. Carol of Bells, I was hoping it would happen. I do have these pink sprinkles. I might incorporate them a little bit just to make things festive a little bit. Seriously. All right. We got both sugars in there. Egg yolks, LOL, which were supposed to be beaten a little bit. Okay. 1 3/4 egg yolks, supposed to be 2. One of the ingredients I try to get every last drop of when I'm doing this. Does it help? I don't know. I think it does. Okay. Things you're not supposed to do, but I do that. I don't know if anybody else out there is a delivery driver, a gig worker. I am, so I promise one of the apps that I would be delivering at noon. So here's hoping I can get it done. Melted butter. And Sean is probably losing her mind because that's not the order she said it in. I feel bad now. Maybe she's a very, very nice person. We'll find out one day when she sues my ass for making her recipe on videos. Never turn the stove off. Speaking of the stove, might as well turn the oven on now. I think I'm going to use convection. I don't know. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting one thing. That would be vanilla. Teaspoon, right? Yes, a teaspoon of vanilla. Which I'm not afraid to spill in there because a little extra never hurt. When it comes to cookies anyway, or pretty much anything. Sorry again, this is not more interactive. I don't even know if anybody's watching because this page is so neglected. Wet ingredients. For old time's sake. And that personally does not look wet enough to me. But now I'm supposed to add this, so let's see if that changes things. If it does, and I'll throw some of that egg white in. Our plumber told us that's the best faucet he has. It's definitely better, which is good. Yeah, that looks better. All right. Stir the wet ingredients into the dry until nearly incorporated. So what we're doing is the exact opposite, and we're going to add, using the stand mixer, we're going to mess over here. Eggs everywhere still. I don't even know why or how, but okay. Hoping that wire reaches where I need it to reach. Sure it does. iPhone charger. All right. This is the fun part. Where did I put that paddle? There it is. The phone's doing weird business, so I have glasses on my head. I should be using them for this. All right. Now, as entertaining as it might be to watch me hand mix for another half hour, we're going to speed things up a little bit. Move everything over. So the only ingredients we haven't talked about yet are the chocolate chips, which I always seem to have a little bit left over from the previous batch. I don't use the whole bag like some people might like. Here we go. Just a little bit at a time here. And I've done this before, so it comes out fine. Don't worry about Shauna and her instructions. Well, there's really no reason why I can't just go like that in the first place. Just put in like a cup and a half. We'll start with that. That's slow enough? Probably not, but here we are. Always keep a spatula handy if you're new to this, so you can scrape down the sides if you need to. Sometimes you don't have to, depending on the cookie dough. Here the flour's kind of sticking to the sides, so the upper side. And just take this opportunity while the paddle's up to throw in a little more. How about another one of these half cups? So that was 3/4 cups before. Put another half cup in. Looking good. Still sticking to the upper rim. So we'll try to address that just a little bit. And it's still looking good. It's not looking too clunky or chunky. It's not looking too thick, in other words. Let's see, it happens when it first turns on, it sprays to the top there. So now it's thickening up. Let's get some chocolate chips ready. Because that's definitely not enough. She asked for 1.5 cups. I think I'm going to go with 1. We'll start with 1. Again, no reason you can't reuse stuff you've been using all along. It's got a little flour in it. It's not going to ruin the recipe. That's a pretty good cup of chocolate chips. Maybe it's not enough. Looking good. I think I'm just going to put the rest in carefully. Not like an idiot. like I sometimes do when I'm pressed for time. Okay. Actually wound up working out pretty well. So once this is, this is recipe. She never tells you what to do with the cinnamon. It really should have went in with the dry ingredients, but she doesn't list it in the dry ingredients. She never talks about it again. But it is a pretty good. So what I think I might do is just sprinkle it while it's, just to get that in there. Okay, quarter teaspoon. And that, I get that every time. I should make a note on my copy of the recipe. All right, so it's good. I'm gonna throw in the crystallized ginger now. Try not to ruin my stand mixer. Everybody's favorite ingredient in this cookie. It's just deadly. Really good. And hard to come by certain times of the year. I wanted to make these earlier in the year, and nobody was selling crystallized ginger. Okay, a cup of these. This is the part where the stand mixer starts to complain. So I use the big morsels, all these for like less than $2. And we are golden. Done. All right, so, and you know, still got time to throw some of these in the oven and maybe pull them out before I have to go to work. I mean, I technically could just sign on and stay here and chat with you. So parchment paper, she says to use the regular sheet pans and make 12 at a time only. I got a little cookie dough or egg yolk on my touch screen. Again, apologies for not chatting with you while I do this. There's probably nobody in the room, but you never know. Okay. Now, one thing I can tell you about this dough is that it is a sticky dough. So it has basically ruined my cookie scoop, my cookie scoopy thingy. Can't think of the proper word right now, but it broke it. So I still have it and I use it, but it's not a bad idea to have like a little cup of water nearby, which is what I'm going to do, just to dip your fingers in, or the spoon. You can see it sticking to this thing. And I don't have time to waste, so I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I lied. Okay. Festive Christmas penguin. And here we go. Get some of this stuff out the way so we can scoop cookies. And she says to make them, she doesn't really tell you how big to make them. Portion tablespoons of dough out onto the baking sheet. So what she means, I guess, is like this. Or, you know, this is bigger than a tablespoon. I would say it would have to be more like a tablespoon and a half, but it's what I use. I said I was going to get myself a little water. Watch me spill this all over the place. Yeah, it's wetter than, the dough is actually a little wetter than it sometimes comes out. And like I said, very sticky. And that's about the size I make. I make a fairly big cookie with these. And it is a dough that will spread, so you want to put them far enough apart. That would be the oven. You probably are saying I freaking know what it is. got a little water on the, that's not going to hurt anything. Yeah. Sometimes I don't use as much banana and it comes out a little drier of a dough and it's easier to work with. Last time it was, the banana was riper. I guess that's part of the problem. Is the banana was riper so it weighed more. Is that possible? I think it is, right? And it didn't take a whole banana. What a mess. Like I said, this thing is basically only good for portioning out, and I generally only use it for regular chocolate chips. But things I should have put on my Christmas list. Too late now. So it looks like I'm only going to get a dozen out of the first batch anyway because I'm making them big. And you know, I think the last time I made these, I actually put them in the freezer for a couple of minutes. I might do that. And that helps it not spread so much. It's just in general a good habit for cookies. And I can't wait to rinse off my fingers at this point. I don't know why I haven't even used the bowl of water that I made. Okay, those are too close together, but we'll put that there, we'll put that there. Okay, much better. Let's see. Yeah, let's stick them in. Don't overbake. 14 to 16 minutes, and she says don't overbake until just golden brown. And I got the convection on, so that takes off like a minute, right? So we'll check it at 13 minutes. How's that sound? I'll probably check it earlier than that. And I know I didn't put them in the freezer. Maybe I'll put the next batch in the freezer. Consolidate these. That's the older bag. Right. Oh, and I didn't put sprinkles on. I told you it wasn't going to be, they were going to be non-festive. Now, when I have the time, I usually just let the original sheet pan cool off a little bit. I did just wash these, so we're good to go. But I don't have any pre-cut parchment paper. So, boom. Try not to have too much parchment paper hanging over the edge because then it browns and then your fire alarms will get angry. All right, the useless bowl of water. No, let's leave it here just in case. Next. What do you think my plan of attack should be? Gloves? No. Just deal with it. Use the bowl of water. Make smaller cookies. This bowl of water works better with regular dough. Like I said, this dough is very sticky. Not a dry dough at all. So I guess I'm not going to be delivering when I'm supposed to be. It's all right. I can do it later. Probably. Shout out to all my gig workers. If you're a delivery person, shout out to you. God bless you. And don't forget, folks, if you use delivery services like DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats, the base pay is extremely low. Uber Eats right now, the base pay is like $2. So when the guy or girl is delivering your food, they're getting paid $2 if you don't tip them. I kid you not. I know it's crazy, but worth mentioning. A lot of people don't know, and they think that the exorbitant costs of apps like Uber Eats or DoorDash means that the driver is doing very well, but maybe you've read some of the articles, or you live in New York State where it's been a big deal. They've just had what they think is a major victory but there's never a major victory when you're dealing with giant corporations like that. If they think they've won, they haven't. It's going to be it's a freelance gig. You're a subcontractor, so when you're a subcontractor, you don't want the people giving you the work controlling you. And that's what they just initiated, and that's what California initiated. And they all think they're going to be making $30 an hour, and it's going to start out that way, but it's not going to stay that way. They always find the workarounds. So again, base pay on DoorDash just went down because of this court ruling that the drivers had in New York State. So now base pay is $2.50 on DoorDash. So your driver gets $2.50 when they take your food, even if it's 5-6 miles away. And if it's further, they get a little more money, but it's not what some people think it is. Anyway, I'll shut up about that. Let's add some sprinkles, eh? This will be messy. Pink, because everybody uses pink on Christmas. They're red and white too, so it's a little festive. Just try to make them a little more fun. That's what sprinkles are, right? Why else do you put sprinkles on? Fun. The whole point, I mean, they're sweet and all, but they don't make or break a cookie, other than visually. You only have to put them in there for a couple minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And I got enough for another small batch. So I guess that's where I'm going to be for the next half hour. And then you can use this time to clean up if you need to, what you do. What else? What else is going on? Yeah, so since the pandemic, that's kind of what I've been doing. Before that, I played piano. And of course, the pandemic shut that down, and taught piano. And I discovered when I resumed it, that during the pandemic, I didn't miss it at all. So I've stopped performing, and teaching never really came back, which is fine because I did it for decades. So for now, I'm just doing that, and we'll see what comes my way as far as opportunities go or anything like that. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying what you do and taking care of yourselves. Let's see. Yeah, I got 5 minutes on these cookies. I guess I can turn that music on again. Let's do that. What did I want to do? I just had an idea and it's gone. Oh yeah, sign on because sign on and pause. Let's see. Let's see if I can go like that. I can't. All right, I can go like that. Cool. All right. So I'm only going to take you through the first batch, although we could see how the ones with the sprinkles look. I'll post it on the on the Facebook later. The useless bowl of water. So you saw the sun was on. I didn't turn the fan on me. I'm going to turn the fan on me. It's cool off a little bit. So, as I mentioned, we're listening to this Copley or Copley High School Choir. And the organ is from the Westminster Presbyterian Church in Akron. That's where they recorded it too. Akron, Ohio. The kids back in this day, whenever it was, a very neat album design. I mean, how cool. We hope you listen to Christmas and hear love on the back. Simply called the Christmas album Delta, which is a private press. 1960. No, they started in 1967. I don't know the year of this off the top of my head, and I don't think my files are accessible right now. Let's find out. Whatever, he's got a 70s haircut. It's probably early 70s. You saw the guy. All right, so these can come out of the freezer. They're chilled. They can stay in another minute. See how these are looking? Oh. Yeah. Someone should have warned me. They're way the fuck done. All right, so let's do this. Let's not use convection on the next one. Sorry about the language. Don't throw me off of Facebook. Shut off the oven. Oh well. Bake 375. Cool. All right. So what I want to do is I want to get these on the rack pronto. So they stop baking. And then they'll be half edible, at least. That's too bad because that was a big batch. But they're edible. They're going to be edible. I don't have experience using the convection oven. I just figured it would be a good idea. I didn't know it was going to take that much time off. They're a little tall too. So they didn't spread like I thought they were going to. Like they normally do, is what I should say. And I don't know why. Is that because of the convection as well? All right. Anywho, let's put in the next batch. We can do that. Keep a closer eye on them. I think I remember that about this recipe is that it doesn't take as long as she says it does. So start timer. We'll go with let's go with 11 minutes. Take a peek at them. All right. Of course, this song is playing right now. And we'll use this again. We got to let it cool off. So we'll put it on a rack, help it cool off. Technically could just use my one remaining sheet pan, which I might do since I'm pressed for time. I think I'll just do that. And the crowd cheered. Or was it jeered? Towel under the album. Yeah, these kids that are singing are really pretty darn good for high school. I guess that's why they said, let's make an album. I mean, I've heard some of the bands are right here in town and where I live are pretty phenomenal. The jazz band at one of the high schools is really, or was, unbelievably good. Like, I couldn't believe the results that this guy, his name was Mark. I used to teach at the school a little bit, private lessons. And this guy, Mark, man, in the amount of time given for a holiday concert, I couldn't believe how good these kids were. It was crazy how good they were, like exceptionally good. All right, so I don't think these are done on the inside. Yeah, they are. Cool. Groovy. All right, let's make our final batch here of messiness. I hope you're having some sort of fun viewing this at whatever time you're viewing. I'll leave it up for now. I said 2 curse words so far. So we'll see if I get in trouble or banned or what. Please don't ban me. It was accident. I didn't mean to curse, it just slipped. It's not like radio, in radio or television, but radio, if you curse and somebody complains to the FCC, it will cost you, I kid you not the radio station, I don't think. I think it's you personally. It's a fine of $350,000. Some of you might know I had a radio show. I actually just stopped doing that as well. I'm listening to the guy who replaced me and playing this really good song. It's a jazz station or a jazz show, and playing this really good song. It's good. I'm like, man, it's a good song. And then at the end, like a minute before the song is over, I hear the vocalist drop an F-bomb. And I'm like, did I just hear what I think I heard? So when I got home, I was heading home. When I got home, I looked up the lyrics to the song, and she drops it twice in the song, not once, which is really unusual in jazz, and especially the type of jazz they were doing. It's a duo. I don't remember the name of the duo at the moment. But the tune is called Hooked. And like I said, it's a good tune, but... So I sent an email to the station manager I just wanted to tell him, you might want to just pull that album because other DJs are going to play it and somebody's going to get in trouble, a lot of trouble. $350,000 is not a joke at all. I don't think it's a joke to anybody, really. Anyway, normal people, I should say. Not that I'm normal. Yeah, we're getting, I lost count. So if you're one of those people that has to count everything, you know how many cookies I'm getting out of this. Get down to the bottom here. This should be the last one. And this particular cookie is going to be void of much chocolate. There's like a speck of it. Speck of chocolate. Which can be fixed, I guess. My hands are so gross right now. I know this hymn from Bach. Bach used this in a cantata. It might have been a Christmas cantata. So I know this hymn. All right, so these are odd. You know what else I normally do that I didn't do today is I press them down a little bit. That's what the water's for. Durr. Yeah, I'm so busy jibber jabbering that. And that we won't have biscuits like we made over here. There won't be biscuits. They look like delicious biscuits, so I will eat them. Okay, so we are 6 minutes in. You know, I do have a light on this oven, but it needs a cleaning, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell. They're doing fine. So that's a good thing to do too, is to press them down a little bit so they cook a little more evenly. It won't be really in the center unless that's what you're into. Wooden spatula is completely trash. All right. Unfortunately, KitchenAid products like this are not dishwasher safe. Although one or two of the pieces have made it into the dishwasher by, we won't name names, but it wasn't me. It happens. So they're still pretty raw in there. So partially it was probably the convection. You're probably all laughing, all you bakers are laughing at me. I'm all gonna laugh at you. And that's fine, because like I said, I don't take this too seriously. Why should I? What else? All right, I'm curious if they don't smell burnt. Hmm. I mean, they're not burnt on the bottom, but as far as cookies go, that's burnt. So they're a little crispy on the bottom. But, and they taste a little bit like a biscuit. Well, we knew they were overcooked. That was obvious. Now I'm just gonna be watching these like a hawk. A friend of mine, older lady friend, told me you can smell when they're done, and she's right. But my nose did not tell me that that was happening. So there's that. Whatever. We'll eat them. So I had plans on making, I might come back on in a few hours. So I had plans on making some jammies. Which are basically these big cookies that have an oatmeal kind of base and jam in the center. They're so good. If that doesn't sound good, it's good. Very lot of texture in those cookies. All right, I don't want to keep letting hot air out. See, Facebook's not telling me anything other than showing me a delayed feed. So hopefully you guys can hear me. That would be hilarious. And not unusual. So ordinarily I'd be watching all this stuff while I wait for the cookies to cook. Let's get a rack out. Put some sprinkles on these. I had cranberries in the fridge, but they're old, and I'm afraid now. We bought them specifically, well, we bought them just because they were there. But then my fiance came up with the idea that we should try to throw them in the cookies, these cookies. And that's a big pain in the butt because you really want to have them. So that alone is, and they're not frozen. When they're frozen, you can let them defrost a little bit and then you cut them in half and they're easy to work with. But just regular old cranberries are kind of messy. It's very messy. So I don't know about throwing whole cranberries in there. I guess you could. But, see now, I'm just curious what condition they're in. They've been in here for a few weeks. Do we want to try and throw, they feel kind of, I just took the, what do I do with my glasses? I just had them there. Uh-oh. That's 11 minutes. So 11 minutes, they are still puffing up like biscuits. And I will tell you that that normally doesn't happen with this recipe. I'd say they need 1 more minute. Tops. These are all like a billion different sizes. And they look past their prime, not gonna lie. Well, let's just have a little fun. We'll do it with the ones that don't have any chocolate chips in them. Yes, this is stupid, I know. We're just gonna put 2 in. That one looks like a chocolate chip. It'd be a terribly cruel joke to play on people. And just in case it's gonna work out good, because the whole idea was with the chocolate. Cranberries with the chocolate, now they're going everywhere. Let's put 1 there, just for fun. And forget all about it. Yeah, these are past their prime, so we'll throw the rest of these away. And that's got to come out now. So let's see if I can get this in the garbage without... Let's move this over. And pull these out. I'm gonna call them done because maybe not. Maybe they need another minute. 1 more minute. 1 more, no more. So these cookies are a fail. I should probably never post this video, but I just want to say hey to anybody that remembers me from back in the day. That would be 2019 when I was doing videos like this. Not like this. I was actually knew what I was doing most of the time. I was prepared. And I made a video with these and they came out perfect. Anywho, let's see here. We'll pull these out and then I'll say my goodbyes and then we'll try again. Maybe we'll try again later today. Depending on how work goes, and we'll make some jammies, oatmeal jammies. They're good, and they're also a pain in the butt, but they're good. All right, so that's it. We're not giving them any more time. I refuse. I don't care what they look like. See, I can see them browning on the bottom, which is probably just left over, and they feel fine. They got just a little bit of that rubberiness to them that you know is going to cook while they sit there. Next, cranberry surprise cookies. 12 minutes it is. Yeah, we don't have to wait for those. Let's see if these, well, I got to let it cool a little bit. I'll let them cook on the pan a little bit more and then I'll transfer them. I think she says, let them cool completely, right? Cool completely on the baking sheets on a wire rack. So she wants you to leave it on a baking sheet, but put it on the wire rack. See what I mean? Done. So yeah, I think I'll say goodbye so I can go put on work clothes and feed the dog maybe and get ready to fly out the door. Hope you had fun. Make sure you say hi in the comments. I was going to do this on YouTube. You can just look me up on YouTube. I can tell you the name of the page. I think it's Freewheeling in My Messy Kitchen as well. Let's find out. Taking its time. I have the best internet, and it's really going slow here. Your channel is called Freewheeling in My Messy Kitchen, okay? And the kitchen, if you want to find it, it's Freewheeling, no G, in My Messy Kitchen, no N, and then the number is 541. I'll put a link in the video or whatever. So there's some videos still up over there. Website's gone. I had to say goodbye to the website because it costs, they tripled, you know, I had an introductory rate, which was great. And then the following year, or the second or third year, I don't know how long I had my website, the cost tripled. And it was a lot of money. I was like, no, I can't. It wasn't a profit. Wasn't making a profit at all to afford that. So just here on Facebook and YouTube, that's it. All right. Thank you all for hanging out or watching or whatever it is you did or didn't do. And we'll take care.